Hi, so today I'm going to show you how you take apart this computer in order to install this new touchpad. This is the original one here, which I actually have right here. So this is the original one that came with the laptop, and we changed it to this one. So in order to get started, the first thing you need to do is you need to disable the built-in battery. And in order to do that, you simply turn the computer on. If you're on Windows 8.1, this is the process you have to follow. So let me turn this computer on. Let me make sure that everything's recording. Okay. So once you have it on, the first thing you have to do is you have to restart the computer. Go ahead and click restart, and it's going, I don't know if you can see that, but it's going to restart. So let it do its thing, and then a prompt is going to come up to press enter, and you're going to press enter to interrupt it. Then you're going to go ahead and go into the BIOS here. And then you're going to go to configuration, power, and then disable the built-in battery. It will ask you the system will be powered down, click yes, and it turns off. So that's the first step. The next step is to remove this battery here. So you're going to remove that, put it aside, and you're done. Now I'm going to use let me check what it is. It is apparently a J1. I'm not really too sure. I don't know if you can see that. It says J1, so this is the one I'm going to use. I'm sure any ordinary screwdriver that's at least Phillips 00 will work. And you're gonna have to take this base off. However, I just missed a step. First thing that you're going to do, actually, let me go ahead. Sorry, I messed up. So you're going to grab a flathead, which I actually am having trouble finding. Here it is. Here's a flathead, and you're going to need two screws or two tips. You're going to need a Phillips 00 and a flathead screw. And the first thing you want to do is you want to remove these plastic tabs here. There's one here, there's another one there. So you just want to put your screwdriver in there and take them all out. It's probably best to start from this end here and just push it out. So see, there's one that came off. Put it aside. Then this one will also come out. Don't worry if you think you're going to break it, it won't break. And there's the other one. It came off just like that. So now you should have these two spaces here completely empty. Now you want to switch your bit to the flathead. Or actually, no. Keep it. Sorry. Having a little bit of trouble here. And you want to flip the computer over. And you're going to see these tabs here. There's one here. And there's one there. I'm sure you can see them. I don't know if you can see that. I don't have the highest tech equipment. So there's one right there, and there's another one right there. So go ahead and lift these tabs up, and it's going to reveal some screws. The screws are located between the key, there's one in the control key. So go ahead, and these screws actually do not come out. They just, they have a, what's it called, a washer, so they don't come out. There's one in the control key. There's another one by the S key, and then there's another one by the F key. There's another one by the J key. There's another one by the colon key. And then there's another one by the arrow up key. And this is going to cause the keyboard to sort of flex, to come out. So simply push it up, and it should come out like that. But be very careful. There's actually a ribbon cable here. Go ahead and lie this completely down. And there's actually, let's see if I can grab this. So if you flip it around, there's actually this, let me see if I can get that for you. There's actually this water, I'm pretty sure this is for the water, that protects it in case of a water spill. So what you want to do is, you want to take that out, because it's not going to let you disconnect it. It's probably a good idea to use your flathead here. So let me see if I can, there we go. So I'm getting this out. Now I'm doing this in real time so that you can see exactly how the procedure goes. So that way you won't be frightened to do this upgrade. And then there's these little latches here. You just flip up the black tab very carefully. Not too much force, otherwise you're going to break it. And there's one. There's actually another one down here that you need to release. So be very careful. Hold this up with one hand and raise up that tab. And there you go. Simply pull it out and it comes out just like that. Remove this black piece here and set it aside. Okay, now it's time to remove the black cover. Leave these open because once you close the laptop, you won't really affect these. That way you won't have to force it open again and risk breaking it. So flip the laptop over, and now we're going to remove all the screws that you see here. So just follow the order at which I'm removing them in. These screws actually do not come out. They simply unscrew but don't come out, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Alright, now once you unscrew those, I'm going to make sure that I did this one correctly. Yes. So once you unscrew these, simply pry it up. If some of them still feel a little tight, go ahead and none of them really feel tight, but just in case they do, go ahead and undo them even more. I guess this one's still a little too tight. And it comes off. Don't be afraid. Let's see. Set it aside. Probably not where the keyboard is. If you want to reapply thermal paste, this is a good spot to do it. Don't mind this up here. This is the way it was brought to me. If you want to do this thermal paste, all you do is remove these 4 screws, unplug the fan, comes out just like that, and reapply thermal paste. You have your RAM chip there. This is the built-in battery, which you're going to have to remove. And you have your Wi-Fi card here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me lift it up. You have, I'm sorry, I do not have the best equipment to do this. But there's your Wi-Fi card right there with my pinkies pointing. There's another slot here for a M42, I believe, SSD, 42mm, and yeah, that's basically it. So you're going to have to remove this fan in order to access the touchpad. You're also going to have to remove this battery. So to remove this battery, what you need to do is you need to remove these screws here. There's one right there, there's one right there, there's another one right there. You need to remove those 3. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure you organize your screws in a very organized manner. I have my own way of doing it. Everyone has their own way of doing it. I usually just bundle them up. Remove that. And then simply unplug that connector. I'm going to use a plastic spudger thing to help me do that. There you go. It comes off just like that. And once you unplug it, the battery should just come out. If you have a 16 gigabyte SSD cache, it will be located here. Unfortunately, this one does not have it, so pretty much out of luck. Now let's remove the fan. So in order to remove it, there's a connector right there. I'm pointing at it with the spudger right here. So go ahead and remove that. Comes out just like that. And go ahead and remove these 4 screws. Now the reason why I'm shooting this in low light is because my camera is not the best. So let me see if I can focus that a little bit. Just a little bit out of focus. That's probably as best as I'm going to get it. Alright. So remove the 4 screws, and then the fan just comes out just like that. I'm not going to reapply thermal paste because that's not my job, so I'm not going to do that. The next thing you want to do is you probably want to unplug this hard drive. I'm not going to do that because this is a big mess here. I don't want to be held responsible for that, so I'm not going to touch that. The next thing you want to do, but you probably do want to remove it. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so the last time, sorry about that, I had a little bit of a incident. So we left off with the fan, and I said that you should probably remove this. Well, let me check that I'm recording. Yes, I am. Okay. And I said you should probably remove the hard drive. I'm not going to do that because it's a big mess right now. The next thing you want to do is you want to unplug this cable here, just right there. So I'm going to use a plastic spudger to help me with that. So let me see if I can. Never mind. I'm probably just going to use my finger. Come on. Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble here. Come on, buddy. Right, let me flip it over. Hold on. There we go. So it comes out. Make sure to remove that. Then the next thing is to lift this latch up and unplug this purple cable here. It comes out just like that. Those are the only things you need to disconnect. And the reason I say that is because you don't want to remove the whole motherboard. It has a lot of, how would you say, very, very, very sensitive things that you probably don't want to mess with. Okay? So now what screws do you need to remove? First of all, you need to remove this group here. Can you see it? It's right there. Right there. It's a black screw by the CMOS battery. You need to remove this screw here by this metal plate, and it's going to cause the metal plate to come off, so be careful with that. Put that aside. The next screw you have to remove is this one here. Remove this one. The next screw is located here. The next screw is located here, right there. The next screw is located here. The next one is located, I think we got all of them, now that I think about it. No, it's located here, right there. Yeah, we didn't get all of them. Getting pretty cocky. Cool. you've got all of that done. You're getting far, okay? So don't give up. The next thing you have to do is unplug the click pad. So simply lift up the latch. Boom, it comes out. And then simply unplug it. It has a lot of adhesive, so you have to be really careful not to mess with this. So just take your time. Very, very, very slowly start peeling the adhesive off. And it should come out like that. Look at all that adhesive. You can even see it. Look at all that. It's disgusting. Now the next thing is to lift the motherboard up very, very, very slightly. So see, the motherboard's coming out, but you don't want to lift it too much. And go ahead and remove these 4 screws. So let me see if you can see them. There's one right there, there's one right there, and there's 2 hidden underneath this motherboard. There's one right there, there's another one right there. You will spot them, you can't miss them. So go ahead and remove these screws. They should come out. There's one. There's 2. There's 3, and for this one you want to angle it at a very, very, very precise angle, and it will come out. And there's 4. Now go ahead and slowly place the motherboard. Make sure your cables are not caught under the motherboard. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this guy because it's a little stuck. There we go. It needs a little help. And then open very, very slowly the computer. And you'll start to notice that this guy falls out. That's not the way I wanted it to fall out, but okay. And here is the touchpad. This is the new one that we installed, but pretend it's the old one, okay? Once you have it installed, all you have to do is lift up this black tab, and this thing will come out. This is exactly as the old one. Let me show you the old one real fast. Where's the old one? I'm trying to find the old one. I can't even find it. Where is it? So this is the old one, okay? Just for proof, here it is. And it looks exactly the same. So once you, let me see if I can get some light on this. Let me see if I can zoom in. Let me see. Okay. Okay, this is going to be kind of hard. I've never really done this. Okay, so you see this black tab here. That black tab. Pull it up, and it will allow you to insert the new touch point or click pad, or whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you call it. Just lift it up. Let me use my plastic spudger here. Bam, there you go. It lifted up. You see that? I don't know if you can see it. You see it at an angle, right? Okay, I'm going to place it here. You see it lifted up. It's right there. And then when you push it back down, boom, it goes back down, clicks on, boom. There you go. It's all set. That's exactly what you do. You lift it up, you take out this cable here, and you put it back in there the same way you did to take out this one. So once you do that, okay, this is that abomination here. Whatever, it doesn't work. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so once you do that, let's start putting it back together. I'm going to show you how to put it back together because why not? Okay, so once you have this thing installed, make sure it's very lined up perfectly with this guy. Go ahead and line it up with the click pad outline. The first thing you want to do, let me make sure that I have this right, is you want to make sure that this makes it through. So this little tab thing is the most important part. So let's go ahead and put that in there like that, and you should be able to feel it, how it clicks into place. Now simply close the computer. So well, don't really close it, I guess. Close it very marginally, and go ahead and grab one of the screws. helps to have it magnetically, and attach one of them. You should be able to feel it go in there, and there you go. It's not going to fall anymore. Now simply attach the connector. Well, before you do that, actually, wow, I feel really dumb because I'm not even telling you the right steps. Go ahead and put these screws back in there. So there's one, and then here is the other. Again, they're under the motherboard, so don't connect it yet. Connect it later, unless you're okay with 2 screws, which you probably shouldn't be, or unless you lost one of them, then I completely understand. There's one, and here is the 4th one right there. And you should be able to close it now. Before you do any stuff though, go ahead and connect it. So just plug in the connector. God, that adhesive is just really nasty. Go ahead and plug it in, make sure it just slides in. Be very careful because you could damage the cable. And close the latch. And boom. Your new trackpad or click pad is in place. Now you want to put it back together. But before you do any of that, you want to make sure that the track point and the touchpad are really, really good aligned. So in my case, I can see it from here. It's perfectly aligned. So I don't have to worry about that. But make sure you do that, because you never know. Next step is to, again, make sure that these damn cables don't get stuck under the motherboard. So bring that little purple cable out because it likes to stay in there. Okay. Now just connect those 2 cables that you disconnected back into place. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this purple cable first, which actually goes like that, and close the latch. So as you can see, it's in there perfectly. This is the next cable, which you actually simply have to put back here like this. And close it. You're back in business. Now let's start putting the other screws back in. So go ahead and put these screws back into place. Remember, there's a triangle by the motherboard that will allow you to see where they go. Let's see if I can. That's probably as best as I'm going to get it. So, as long as you can tell what I'm doing, I'm okay with that. There's another triangle here. Ah, wait, this is where that plate went, I'm sorry. Make sure you put the plate back on. I know there's a lot of mistakes here, but again, I don't have a lot of high-tech equipment. I'm looking at what I'm recording and doing this at the same time. I'm sorry, this is actually not the right screw. The correct screw that goes here is actually a very long screw. It's the only long screw you'll see. It's this one. So this is actually the screw that goes with this metal tab here. Wow, I cannot get this in for the life of me. Okay, so last time, unfortunately, my battery died. So, let's see if I can focus it correctly. So, as I said, just put the screws back in. They're marked by triangles, so you cannot miss them. Do not put them where the triangles are not located, so be careful with that. The next thing is obviously the fan. So we're going to put the fan on here and screw it back in. Now before you tell me why didn't I change the thermal paste, I don't have any and it's not my job, so go ahead and screw these in. Make sure they're nice and tight but not too tight. So this one is already good, this one's also good, this one's also good. Now go ahead and just reconnect the fan here. So let me turn it around and connect it. Come on, buddy. There we go. That's in pretty snugly. Okay. And we've essentially just reassembled the entire thing. So now all we need to do is put the bottom cover back on. So we have everything. Oh, what the hell am I talking about? Forgot the battery. Make sure you put the battery back in. So simply put this on, stick it in there, and go ahead and grab your screws and start putting them on there. What am I thinking? I don't know. Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and grab that, put that in there. Go ahead and grab this guy. Put that in here. If you don't know where these screws are located, just look at the beginning of the video. I showed you where they were. I'll probably take a picture of this motherboard to show you exactly where the screws are located and which ones you need to disconnect. That looks a little bit out of focus to me. Let me see. Okay, that's probably as best as I'm gonna get it. Whatever. Fuck it. Okay, you've done it. You've changed your touchpad. Just make sure to reconnect this guy. Make sure you use the aid of a plastic spudger or your nails. I watch Mr. Rossman a lot. He says use your nails. I don't have nails. Come on, look at my hands. Look at my meaty hands. No nails. Okay, now just put the cover back on. So this goes in like that. And if this does not go in, then you've obviously done something wrong. So please make sure that you do everything right. Just follow my directions. Don't be a smart ass and think that you can get ahead of me. Well, you can probably do that, but if you want to do this safely, then just follow these directions. Okay, go ahead and put that in there like that. Boom. And don't put the battery in yet, because you're going to reconnect the motherboard. So as you can see, the touchpad looks really nice. It's better and clickier, and 1,000 times better. This thing isn't the button anymore. So cool. So now what you want to do is you want to grab the. Remember, this piece goes like this. So the piece that actually goes first is the one that holds this piece. So you want to slide it in there. Well, both of these go in there, so you want to slide these in there. Now be careful again, you don't damage it, because otherwise, if you spill something on this, it's not going to protect it. So just slide them both in there, like so. So there's one, and the other one is right here. Boom. There you go. What you gotta worry about? You got this, man. You're pro. Okay? Now this is the tricky part. It's connecting it back. That's a problem. So I might have a few beers or something before I do this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm already doing this now. So the first one you want to connect, I'm gonna kind of flip it this way. You might not be able to see this, but you should be able to do this. The first one I'm going to connect is the blue one, because that's obviously the longest one. I'm sorry, the brown one. Oh shit. The brown one. That's the one I'm going to connect first. You shouldn't have to put any force into it. It should just slide in there. I hope you heard it click. Then do the blue one next. Go ahead and slide it in there. Put the latch down and boom. Now simply cover it back up with the original black thingamabob that I had there. Go ahead and close it. Now, before you do anything else, make sure that it fits in there very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and make it do that and push this down to ensure that when you put these latches back down, it will go in. So again, retighten the screws that you had on here. I told you where they were in the beginning of the video, so just do that. here. There's another one right there. Another one right there. And another one right there. Now, this is where you might start having some problems. This thing might not want to go down, and that's okay. You have to push it down a little bit. So go ahead and push it down and slide it. See how it's going down? Might have to use a little force, but that's okay. Slide it. There you go. Boom. It's back in. What do you got to worry about? Boom. There you go. What you worrying about? Now go ahead and flip this over. Put the battery back in. Flip it over. Now you might have to reconnect the power supply. So I'm going to do that really fast. Whoops. Sorry, lamp. Go ahead and put that in there. It's turning on, so I'm going to disconnect it now. So let it turn on. And there you go. The mouse is working. I don't know if you can see that, but the mouse, or the touchpad, is working. Now, when you originally install this, these buttons will not work. I'm going to show you in a separate video how to get them to work. I think I wasn't close enough to the mic. When you install it, when you first install it, these buttons will not work. So I'm going to show you in a different part how to get these to work. Because the only thing that will work is this. That's not cool. You got it because you want these 3 buttons. I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? But here it is. It works perfectly. There's nothing wrong with it. Alright? If you have any questions or if you want me to show you more in depth about a part that you did not understand, feel free to contact me. I'll happily do it. I have one of these myself, so if you have any more questions, go ahead and contact me. Okay? Awesome. Thank you. Have a good day.